This man found something strange. He was a powerful healer who could fix any injury in a second. But even with this amazing skill, he was kicked out of the hero squad. And it was all because of something Zenos did himself. Every time a team member got hurt, Zenos would heal them right away. Because of this, the hero squad thought they were just super strong and didn't even realize Zenos was helping. They believed they healed on their own. So, they felt Zenos wasn't useful and told him to leave. After being kicked out, Zenos moved to a small, quiet town. There, he opened a healing clinic with his assistant, Jenny. The people in the village quickly started to love him. In this kingdom, healers were very important. There were even special schools made just to teach healing magic. But to become a real healer, people had to study in these schools and get a license. Zenos was just a regular guy. He never went to any school. He learned all his healing magic by himself. Since he didn't have a license, he chose to live far away from the big cities. One day, while Zenos was on his way to help a sick person, he met a nobleman. The noble said his slave had gone crazy and attacked him. He begged Zenos to come quickly and offered to pay any price. Just then, an orc came running toward them. It was the so-called slave. Zenos pushed the noble out of the way with one hand. The orc picked up a rock and threw it at Zenos. But Zenos only jumped a little and dodged every attack easily. The noble was shocked. He begged Zenos to just defeat the orc. But Zenos shook his head. He said, "I save any life that can still be saved." The noble didn't get it. Zenos explained that he wasn't a fighter, he was a healer. Before the noble could speak again, the orc rushed in for another attack, but it couldn't hurt Zenos. Zenos gave it one light hit, and the orc flew through the air, crashing into a house far away. Even though she's half dead, the slave girl keeps crawling, like some unkillable zombie with a grudge. Zenos watches her, thinking, yep, this one's possessed for sure. She suddenly lunges and bites him, and for a split second, he's like, ghosts can bite and trash talk now? Still, he powers up his healing magic to patch her up while driving the evil spirit out of her like it's just another Tuesday. As he works, he wonders, what kind of farming do people do around here that ends with you full of ghosts? When the exorcism's done, Zenos mutters that he's clocking out for the day. The noble who owned the slave is standing there stunned. Turns out, Zenos also fixed her foot like it was made of Lego. The noble, now very desperate, begs Zenos to heal him too. Zenos, completely chill, says, "Nah, I'm done for the day. Come back tomorrow." The noble yells, "I'll be dead by then." But Zenos isn't moved. The noble offers all his money, thinking it'll be enough. Zenos takes a look, gives a hard nope, and tells him he's still short. The noble tries to haggle like he's buying fruit at a market, but Zenos shuts that down. He explains that he's an unlicensed healer, which makes this whole thing shadier than a back alley gravedigger. The noble gets all nervous, but Zenos goes full businessman and demands the girl's slave papers as the rest of the payment. The noble shrugs like it's no big deal and agrees. Once he's healed, he limps away. When the girl wakes up, she sees Zenos hovering over her and panics. Her stomach's still twisting in pain. She asks who he is, and Zenos just drops the bomb. "I'm Zenos, and I bought you." He asks her name, and she barely whispers, "Tilly." Then, out of nowhere, Zenos tells her to take off her clothes. Not for anything creepy. He needs to do a full body check since she cost him a fortune. Tilly hesitates, but she gets it. She strips, and Zenos does a quick check. Turns out she's got gallstones clogging her up, and her insides are screaming. Zenos had figured this earlier. He'd seen the jaundice signs, which is why he followed her in the first place. And just like that, he heals her. Tilly blinks, confused, and asks what he just did. Zenos, like he's talking about making tea, tells her he opened her up, cleaned out her gallbladder, and sealed her up. Tilly's brain can't process that level of healing. She tells him no healer could ever do that, but Zenos brushes it off like it's nothing. She thanks him, seriously and deeply, and asks how she can repay him. Zenos gives her a simple task: find a herb. He shows her a sketch and asks if she can track it down. Tilly's like, "That's it," and leads him right to it. Turns out, it's the same herb Lily used in her cooking before. She brings it back and says it was easy. She honestly expected a way weirder favor. Zenos thanks her and tells her the job's done. She argues it's not enough to repay what he did for her. But he insists. He only takes payment that fits the job. And that herb? He couldn't have found it without her. That's all he needed. Then, with zero drama, he tears up her slave contract and tells her she's free. She's stunned. She says she doesn't even know what to do with her freedom yet, but promises to come back and tell him once she figures it out. Zenos nods and wishes her luck, saying to find him if she ever gets hurt again. That night, he heads home. Lily greets him and tells him dinner's not ready. The three food thieves stroll in after gathering ingredients, which clearly means they already ate everything. They say nothing. Lily whips up something fresh. Zenos walks off, and the moment Carmilla sees him, she smirks. Girl's got sharp instincts. She smells another woman on him. Zenos tells her to zip it. She asks if he wants dinner, but he says he's fine. What he really wants is some black tea. She reads the room fast and goes to make it. Flashback time. Zenos used to be part of a big deal adventuring party called Golden Phoenix. But then, the team leader Aston, absolute human trash, flings a gold coin at Zenos like he's tipping a beggar and tells him he's out. Says Zenos is dead weight and the team's better without him. Zenos knows the truth. He was the only reason that Reckless squad made it out of most fights. He patched up their wounds after every dumb move Aston made, but Aston didn't care. He only brought Zenos in to be a meat shield, someone expendable. Now that the team was strong, they ditched him like yesterday's loot. Meanwhile, in some dingy alley, two slave dealers are wrestling with an elf girl. The lady tells the guy to keep the elf unbruised. They're rare and sell for top dollar. The guy's got her pinned, but she's not going down easy. Lily kicks him right in the crown jewels. While he's howling, she makes a run for it. She almost gets away until he shoots her in the ankle with an arrow. She crashes and he pins her down again. She bites his hand like a wild animal and he stabs her just to break free. That's when Zenos walks in. He sees Lily on the ground, bleeding, looks at the two scumbags and asks if they're the ones who did it. They proudly admit it. Slavery's legal here, so she's their property. They tell him to get lost. Zenos gets it. He can't do anything legally. But then, he pulls out the same gold coin that Aston threw at him, offers it in exchange for Lily. It's not enough, but the dealers look at her, bleeding out and barely alive, and decide it's not worth dragging a dead elf to market. They take the coin and leave. Zenos walks to Lily, checks if she's still alive. She tells him to let her die. It's easier, but Zenos just says, "You're not dying today." Lily looks down and sees her wounds gone. Not even a scar. She's in shock, quietly thanks him and apologizes for making him spend his only coin. Zenos shrugs. He didn't want that cursed coin anyway. It reminded him of Aston and he'd rather forget that guy existed. He asks if she's got anywhere to go. Of course she doesn't. She was a slave 5 minutes ago. She says she's starving, so he offers to buy her food and maybe find her something to wear. He takes her to a little diner after grabbing her a new outfit. She digs into her meal like it's the best thing she's ever eaten. Probably is. She notices Zenos isn't eating and asks why. He says he's not hungry. Truth is, he's broke. Now he's got to figure out how to stay alive. Then, some guy stumbles in. His arm is burned and busted, bleeding all over. Zenos glances at him and figures it out quick. A magic gun wound, probably from a fight. The guy's a lizard man, so he'll heal eventually, but it'll hurt like hell for days. Zenos casually lifts a hand, uses his magic, and heals the guy in seconds. The dude's jaw hits the floor, asks Zenos who he is. Before Zenos can answer, Lily jumps in and proudly calls him a legendary healer. The guy's never heard of him, but he's grateful. Gives Zenos some coins and says he'll spread the word. Zenos stares at the money. It hits him. People pay for healing. He starts thinking, maybe he can turn this into something. But getting a license? Not happening. He's from the slums, and getting legit means taxes, rules, paperwork. Nah, he's going rogue. Underground clinic, healer for hire, no red tape. Lily doesn't understand all the details, but she wants in. Zenos hesitates. Running an illegal clinic isn't exactly something you drag a kid into. But Lily reminds him, he technically bought her. She's sticking with him no matter what. Zenos says he didn't buy her to own her, he just didn't want her to die. But Lily drops the truth. If he leaves her now, she'll be taken again. And this time, she won't get away. So, yeah, they're in this together. Eventually, Zenos lets out a long sigh, gives in, and tells Lily she can tag along. She immediately drops to her knees like some overly loyal servant and pledges to serve him with her whole body. Zenos nearly chokes on air and begs her to never phrase it like that again because that just sounds way too cursed. But first things first, if Zenos is going to open up a shop, he needs a roof over his head. So naturally, he takes Lily to the sketchiest, most cursed-looking corner of the city, the kind of place that makes you question every decision in life. Broken windows, decaying walls, zero neighbors. It's perfect. Lily's eyes dart around the ghost town and she nervously asks why they're even here. Zenos breaks it down. If he's going to run a shady little back alley clinic, the last thing he wants is the Royal Association sniffing around. A forgotten, cursed slum is exactly what he needs. No rent, no rules, and no busybodies. Lily can't argue with the logic, but she's definitely spooked. She warns him that abandoned districts like this are prime real estate for monsters, especially the creepy kind. And sure enough, they stumble upon a house that's somehow still standing. Zenos thinks it's a total win, but Lily stops dead in her tracks. The house looks like it belongs in a horror movie. If they're lucky, they'll just get cursed. Zenos has no clue what that is. Lily explains that wraiths are ghost-type monsters who can literally slap the soul out of your body with one touch. Very fun stuff. They head inside and it's pitch black, so Lily lights the room up with a basic spell. Zenos is caught off guard. He didn't know she could use magic. She shrugs and says it's just the easy stuff. Once the room is lit, the place looks exactly like a haunted house from a bad dream. But Zenos? he's completely unfazed. It's not glamorous, but the roof doesn't leak and the foundation isn't crumbling, so for him, that's a win. Just when they think they've found their new home, a massive problem floats out of the shadows. The house already has a tenant, and it's a full-blown wraith. She floats out with glowing eyes and announces she's going to suck the life right out of Zenos. Lily instantly panics. Zenos just sighs like this is the most annoying inconvenience in his day. The wraith lunges. Zenos instantly fires off a healing spell that blasts both her ghostly arms clean off. Compared to the nightmares he dealt with in the labyrinths while working with the Golden Phoenix, this is just background noise. Back then, Aeson would toss him into dungeons solo for fun. He's fought wraiths by the dozen. Healing magic is like acid to undead creatures. They hate it. Zenos calmly apologizes for barging in, says he didn't know someone was living there, and politely asks if it's cool to stay on the first floor. The wraith is stunned. She's Queen Carmilla, ruler of all wraiths, and this guy is just casually asking to be her roommate. So she snaps her fingers and summons a squad of angry spirits to chase him out. Zenos sighs again and hits them with a mass heal spell that wipes them out instantly, like erasing chalk with a wet rag. Carmilla freezes. She clearly underestimated him. Honestly, she's wondering if he could just delete her from existence if he felt like it. Zenos assures her that's not the plan. He just needs a place to crash and patch people up. He offers a deal. He'll take the first floor with Lily and she can keep the second floor as her spooky ghost zone. Carmilla knows she's outclassed, so she agrees. Lily, on the other hand, is now stuck between two absolute monsters, a ghost queen and a chill but terrifying healer who casually blasts spirits like it's no big deal. Will Zenos keep his underground healing business alive and free Lily from the life of a slave? You'll have to watch the full series to find out. Names in the description and the comments below. And hey, we've got a goal, 100k subs on Annie Saga 10 by the end of the year. So like, comment, subscribe, and let's make it happen. You're part of this journey now. Catch you next time.